that you're being abused, and you might not even realize that you're being abused. Think everything is fine. This person is nice to me. This person shows up when they're supposed to show up. This person is, you know, recognizes my birthday. They're nice to me. I don't realize I'm being abused. The number one sign that you're being abused, you're being isolated from your family and friends. If you can't see your mother, your father, your children, you can't see your best friend, they've driven a wedge in between your relationship with people in your life that have been important to you. They've kind of turned you against them or caused a fight. That's a sign you're being abused. Big sign. Another one would be somebody who is overly controlling. Somebody that needs to have things their way. They need to eat dinner at a certain time. They need to pick the restaurant that you eat at. You're not allowed to make any decisions. They have to make the decision. They tell you what to wear it, when to wear it, how to wear it, what color it should be. They need to be in control of everything. Sign that you're being abused. There also usually is a money thing. Usually the abuser has to be in control of money. They have to have the money. They have to control the money. They have to maybe give you some money, but they're in control of it. They need to know how much you have and where you spent it, how you spent it, what you did with it. There's usually a money thing that's tied to abuse. And I know that we always think of abuse as somebody who is like loud and like throwing things or hitting people. There are all kinds of abuse. There's emotional abuse, and being with somebody who will ignore you and not speak to you for days is a sign of abuse. That could drive you crazy. You don't know what you did wrong, but they're ignoring you. These are all things that I think are huge red flags that you're in an abusive relationship. And I know that we live in a society where we push women to recognize abuse, know when you're being abused, but I don't think that we have that kind of same compassion for men. And I think that there are so many men out there that are being abused by women, and they just don't think that they are because they may not have the physical injuries, but the abuse is so deep that they can't even see straight. They're being told that they're worthless. They're being told that they're nothing. They're not allowed to do things. They're being abused in a different way, which then sometimes could lead to reactive abuse, which is a whole other thing. That would be like if the weaker person, I don't know if I should say weaker, but because sometimes a man could be small, but it would be like this. If a woman starts beating up on a man or punching or hitting a man, and then the man grabs the woman and pushes the woman off of him, and if she gets hurt in that, then she turns around and says that she's battered, that's a sign that there's abuse going on. So he reacted to her abuse. You know, it's like she was punching him, so he pushed her off. That's reactive abuse. And I'm not saying that any of this violence is right, but what do you do if somebody's beating the shit out of you? You see what I'm saying? And then that goes to a whole other level. It reminds me very much of the Johnny Depp trial, you know, where she was saying, go ahead, Johnny, tell the world how I beat you up. Nobody's going to believe you. But the truth is that she was beating him up, and she was being abusive to him, and she was pushing him to the limit, and she knew what she was doing. And then she was turning it around and making it like she was the victim. Very dangerous people. They're very dangerous people because they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They're not dumb. And there are different levels when it comes to this. Like, you could be with somebody who is very controlling when it comes to who you could be around or who you can't be around, but then they may not be physically violent with you, or vice versa. They may not care who you're with as long as they're there, but then they're physically abusive. Like, there's all, and these are all signs, because these things, they don't get better. They don't get better. You have to leave the situation, otherwise it's going to continue. And I know that we all want to hear, oh no, it's going to change. You just wait. It's going to change. It's not changing. It is not changing. It's going to continue. And it's going to continue to get worse as well. Anyway, that's it for this one. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.